Welcome to another edition of International Soccer Break. Normally, you're used to seeing Sahil here alongside me. I don't know where he is. He might have left for Abijan to join in the celebrations. That very well could be where he is. But I'm joined by a very special friend, Jon Boafo, who's in Abijan, who's been a part of this tournament from the very beginning, experienced it with the fans. John, how are you doing? Have you recovered from the celebrations? Are you still alive? You look good.
Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. My voice is a bit up and down, but it's just been an incredible last 35 or 36 days since the 13th of January, since the beginning of AFCON. It's just been arguably the best AFCON ever. It's just been up and down, and timelines and plots and twists and everything that was in there was just made it fantastic. It was great as a fan to be here, to be able to see the fans, to be able to see everyone really excited about the biggest celebration of African football.
Really, it was a celebration and full of twists and turns. The biggest twist ultimately in the end is, how did Cote d'Ivoire win this tournament? I mean, what an improbable run from the beginning. I mean, they're effectively left for dead after the group stage, fired their manager, and then somehow, some way, the magic refines them again and they go on this incredible run. And really, in the final, they were probably the better team. But tell us about what it must have been like to be in Cote d'Ivoire and to experience this run, because there were times, I'm sure, that the fans felt this was over.
Yeah, so funny enough, I was in the stadium the day that they lost 4-0 against Equatorial Guinea, and it was kind of crazy because everyone was really expectant that, after the loss against Nigeria and even the first game where they did quite well in parts, they won that game. I think it was 2-0, a goal by Crasso and another goal by Seko Fofana, and there were people were expectant that it's Equatorial Guinea. You should be able to beat them. You should be able to move out of the group, etc., etc. And at the 1-0, people were still, thinking, okay, we can still push this team and try to get out of this group and win this game. And then at 2-0, it was funny because the fans that were there literally just turned on the players. You could start seeing some of the fans, which, it's something that is really kind of stupid. Taking bottles of water and trying to throw it on the pitch, really disgruntled. People starting to leave. At 3-0, basically, all hell broke loose. And 4-0, basically half of the stadium was still there. So it was crazy. But the beginning of the resurrection of the Elephants actually started in the game just after that. So that was a 5 p.m. game. The 8 p.m. game was the Ghana versus Mozambique. And when Mozambique scored that 2-1, that's when the crowd that had stayed to watch this game realized, maybe if Mozambique does well, we have a better chance to get out of the group. So people started, pushing more for Mozambique. At the beginning, they were all for Ghana. And in the end, the 2-2 gave a chance to this Ivorian team to be able to make it through. And then from then on, there was Morocco that allowed them to go into this knockout stage. And then from there, it was really a roller coaster. I made it all the way up to Yamoussoukro for the match against the reigning champions, Senegal. And I was actually sitting with the Senegalese crowd, and it was insane. The amount of noise that they were making, they were just behind the team 110%. And to be fair, they could have easily won that game 3-0, but they never killed off this Ivorian team, and it came back to bite them. They ended up losing on penalties after Kessié scored a penalty to draw that game, and then scored the winning penalty to send them off. And then it just kind of seemed like something, the momentum was growing in the game after that. There's a huge Malian community that lives in Ivory Coast. I think from what I read, it was close to 3 million of them. And so it was kind of like a local derby, a rivalry game that was out there, and they were able to dispatch them. And then they moved to DR Congo, played probably one of their better games. And then in the end, at the final, I mean, how incredible was that? They never gave up. And even after the 1-0 that they conceded, they were able to come back and win in 90 minutes 2-1. This is the same Ivorian team that's won twice, and both times they've had to win on penalties against Ghana. As a Guinean, I'm not really happy about that, but it is what it is. But it was magical. It was really magical, and they did fantastically well to be able to win this AFCON on home soil for the first time since Egypt won it in 2006, hosting and winning.
You mentioned home soil, and I'm sure that's incredible to feel what the emotion has been. I know it was a national holiday. Tell us a little bit about the celebrations and the country's reaction to what at one point seemed impossible, but in the end is a coronation at home. Must be incredible scenes in Abijan, but all over the country.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. But funny enough, that sense of we deserve to win or we are going to win started from the beginning of the day. So on Sunday, going to the final, most people took buses to go there because they got, they arranged buses so you can park your car, jump in the bus, then go to the stadium. And I was on the bus with about 40 people, and people were just excited. This was like 3 or 4 hours until the kickoff. Actually, 3 or 4 hours before the closing ceremony, people were really excited. They were expectant. And after they won 2-1, people just went wild. People were dancing to Tamsir's song, Coup de Marteau, which really has been the anthem of this AFCON, just dancing and celebrating and hugging. And, it was quite emotional being there, seeing everything that was happening. And it was really a fantastic thing. And then yesterday was a public holiday. So the team did a parade where they started from the hotel at Maison Palmier, which is a little north inside of Abidjan, and they went all the way around, and then they ended up going to the stadium where there was a free concert and people were allowed to go in. And so it was kind of cool, and it also showed the proximity that the players have to the fans, and also recognizing that the fans helped them as the 12th men. But this time it wasn't a cliche. They really were able to push them, especially when they were down 1-0 against this Nigerian team that's only conceded, until then had only conceded 2 goals and only 1 goal from open play. They scored 2 goals from open play, so it was really against the narrative, and it was also thanks to the fans. So they were able to celebrate it with the fans yesterday, and then today they went to the presidential house. They were greeted by the president and his wife, and from what I hear, there were rumors of cash prizes, houses, maybe second wives, who knows? But all good things for them.
All good things. I can imagine it was incredible. We saw the scenes in the stadium, Didier Drogba going nuts, Salomon Kalou. I'm sure all the dignitaries in attendance, all the former stars must have loved it. What a great day. It was great for the host to win in the end. But beyond that, I think it was just an incredible AFCON. You alluded to that in the beginning. It was just a tournament full of twists and turns. So many good stories. Equatorial Guinea for a while looked like the darlings of the tournament, looked like an incredible team. But I want to hear your personal favorite moments. You followed the tournament from the beginning. You've been on the ground. I'm sure you've got a lot to tell us. But what you're going to remember from, as you said, it probably the best AFCON in history?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at least in my books, and I might be biased because I've been living here for the last 6 years, but it's definitely been the best AFCON ever. There are a couple of moments that really stand out to me. The number one would be the time that I spent with the Senegalese fans. I mean, it was incredible. For 120 minutes, these guys barely sat down. I think they sat down twice, once after the 90th minute, and then once just before the penalty kicks. These guys were like dancing. They had these choreographies. They had like 5 or 6 different choreographies. They were just going on and on. They were singing. They were celebrating. They had like these drums, etc. They were so colorful as well. And honestly, I've never seen an away team so connected to their team. You could see that the Senegalese were really proud of what their team was able to accomplish in the last AFCON, and they were there to do their part to ensure that that team performed well at the AFCON. You know, it wasn't their day. And I mean, after the game, I've never seen also so many grown men and women just crying, but like genuinely upset, and, you know, just genuinely upset that their team was knocked out. So that's probably one of the first moments. The second moment is actually the closing ceremony. It was incredible. You could feel the atmosphere in the air. They played, you know, Tamsir's Coup de Marteau, obviously, because it's been the #1 song during this AFCON. And you could see, at one point, I looked up and I looked around, and people were just celebrating. They were just really happy to be there and expectant, and, you know, looking forward to win from the local team. So that's probably my second moment. And then I have other moments which are not so good. You know, Ghana winning 2-0 and then, you know, conceding 2-2. That was another moment that's gonna stick with me, because there's something that's, you know, quite wrong with this current setup of Ghana, because they have so many talented players, from Mohamed Kudus to Ernest Nuama to Iñaki Williams, and, you know, there's so many within that list, but they weren't able to perform up to the level and to the expectations of us Guinean fans. But so yeah, I mean, but overall it was just fantastic. It was just fantastic, and I'll keep a very good souvenir or memory of this AFCON, and hopefully, you know, the next one in Morocco or the one after that in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda will be as vibrant and as electric. But who knows?
Yeah, maybe the Black Stars will get it done then. I mean, you got your adopted nation winning it in the end, so not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad. Exactly.
Well, thanks so much for being here with us, and thank you to all the supporters who've tuned in with us, and really, it's been an incredible tournament, such a showcase of African football, and we've really enjoyed watching this from the beginning to the end. It's always a great tournament, but this one feels like it had something special, highlighted in the end by Cote d'Ivoire, the host nation, doing what they did. It's been a magical month. Really appreciate you being on with us, Jon, and telling us about what the scenes were like on the ground. To all the fans out there, keep watching the beautiful game. If this is something that you want to keep tuning in, please like and subscribe. And I'll leave it to you, Jon, to give us the final word. We like to do that, if anything in French, if you'd like, as Cote d'Ivoire. But any way to culminate the tournament, any message out there, and just to cap off what's been an incredible showcase of African football.
Yeah, I mean, to cap it off, to be honest, I think people just need to change their playlist and only put one song on, Coup de Marteau by Tamsir. That's really been the song that's been basically pushing and has sponsored this fantastic AFCON. And on that note, I'm going to run to the airport and pick up your brother. I think he just called me. The immigration's giving him some problems. So we're going to party in Abijan.
All right. And you know what song that you're going to be partying to? You heard it here.
Yeah,
make that your official #1 song now. Thanks
For
so
sure.
much, Jon. Go enjoy the party.
Thanks for having me.